Hi everyone, welcome to Sweet Pea Seeds Inspirations. My name is Sydney and today we are going to learn how to do this Snowflake Doily / placemat, whichever you prefer to use it for. I'm going to be specifically using this as a placemat. So some things that you are going to need for this tutorial is I'm going to be using Premier's Just Cotton yarn in the color cream. You will need at least one of these, and then this one that I use that you see right here, the yarn that I used for this one was the Peaches and Cream. I can't remember exactly the colorway, but it does have some white, some beige tan color, and then a little bit of a blue tint to it as well, which you can pick this up from Walmart. And the Just Premier Cotton, you should be able to pick it up from your local Dollar Tree. And then also I'm going to be using a 5mm hook. Feel free to use whatever kind of cotton you like, but I do highly recommend using cotton. And then also, once we are done, we are going to need to starch this as well. So how you can start your project is, what I like to do is get boiling hot water, get some cornstarch, and then mix your cornstarch with some cold water. And once you've gotten your water completely boiled, you'll add that in, and then it should start to thicken up. How much ever cornstarch you add to your water, your cold water mixture, that's how thick it's going to be. So if you add a lot of cornstarch, it's going to be more starchy, crunchier starch than if you were to add just a little bit. So go ahead and grab your yarn and grab your hooks, and we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to first start off with a chain of 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to go into that very first stitch, and we are going to do a double crochet 2 together. So yarn over, go into that stitch, draw up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over again, go back into that stitch, draw up a loop, pull through 2. So now you should have 3 loops on your hook, and go ahead and pull through all 3. So that chain 3 counted as part of our double crochet 3 together, and then we just had to finish that off with the double crochet 2 together. And then we are going to chain 3, so 1, 2, and 3. We're going to go ahead and go into that same space and do a double crochet 3 together. So yarn over, go into that space, draw up a loop. So now you have 3 loops, pull through 2, yarn over, go into that same space, draw up a loop, pull through 2, one more time, yarn over, go into that same space, draw up a loop, pull through 2. So now you should have 4 loops on your hook, and we are going to pull through all 4. Go ahead and chain 3, and go ahead and go into that same space and do your double crochet 3 together. So yarn over, draw up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, go into that same space, draw up a loop, pull through 2. One more time, yarn over, go into that same space, draw up a loop, pull through 2, and then pull through 4. We're going to continue repeating that. Go ahead and chain 3. We're going to go ahead and continue repeating that until you have a total of 8 of these double crochet 3 togethers, and that very first one that we made to start off, that is also going to count as 1. So once you have gotten this completed, you should have 8 of these double crochet 3 togethers. To end this row, we are going to chain 3, so 1, 2, and 3. We're going to slip stitch into that very first double crochet 3 together that we made. And once you have gotten your slip stitch, we're going to go into that chain 3, make another slip stitch into that chain 3 space, and now we are going to be working on row number 2. So go ahead and chain 3, so 1, 2, and 3. we're going to do a double crochet 2 together. That chain 3 counts as a part of the double crochet 2 together, so it will be a double crochet 3 together. And once you have gotten that completed, we are going to chain 3, so 1, 2, and 3. We're going to go into that same chain space and do a double crochet 3 together. And then we are going to chain 3, go into the next chain 3 space and do a double crochet 3 together. And once you have gotten that completed, we are going to chain 3, go into the same space and do another double crochet 3 together. Chain 3, and we're going to continue repeating that until we have made it to the end of row number 2. So again, after you have gotten your chain 3, go into the next chain 3 space, do your double crochet 3 together, chain 3, do another double crochet 3 together in that same space. So go ahead and finish off row number 2 and I will meet you at the end. Once you have made it to the end of row 2, we're going to chain 1 and then we are going to do a half double crochet in the top of that double crochet 2 together that we made at the very beginning. And for row number 3, we are going to chain 1 and then we are going to place a single crochet into that half double crochet. We're going to grab the post with that. So if you did not see what I just did, I chained 1 and then I grabbed that post and did a single crochet. Now we are going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to go into the chain 3 space and we are going to place a single crochet. Again, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go into the next chain 3 space and place a single crochet. And go ahead and continue repeating that until you have made it to the end. Once you have made it to the end of row 3, go ahead and chain 2 and place a half double crochet into that very first single crochet that we made. Now for row number 4, go ahead and chain 1, and now we have to get 60 single crochets into these stitches. So we are going to go into that chain 5 space and we are going to place 3 single crochets into that chain 5 space, and then place a single crochet into that single crochet from the previous row. Again, place 3 single crochets into the chain 5 space, and then place a single crochet into that single crochet from the previous row. Go ahead and continue repeating this until you have made it to the end, making sure you do have 60 single crochets. When you have made it to the last 2 chain spaces, which is that chain 5 and then that chain 2, in that chain 5 we are going to place 2 single crochets into that chain 5, a single crochet into that single crochet from the previous row, and 1 single crochet into that chain 2 space. So that should give us 60 single crochets. Now we are going to slip stitch into that chain 1 space from the previous row. And then we are going to chain 3. And in the next stitch, we are going to place a double crochet. Go ahead and chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip the next 3 stitches. And in the next 3 stitches, we are going to place a double crochet in each stitch. So 1, go into the next stitch, place a double crochet, that's 2, and then go into the next stitch and place a double crochet. So that is 3. Again, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Skip the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3, and the next 3 stitches place a double crochet in each. And we are going to continue that until we have made it back around, and I will meet you back then. Once you have made it to the end, instead of skipping 3 this time, we are going to skip 4. And in that very last stitch, we are going to place a double crochet. And for row number 6, go ahead and slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 space that we made at the beginning. And now we are going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go into that chain space, and we are going to place 3 double crochets. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go into the next chain 3 space, place 3 double crochets. Chain 4, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go into the next space, chain or place 3 double crochets into that chain space. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go into the next chain space, place 3 double crochets. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and go ahead and continue repeating that pattern, and then I will meet you once I have made it to the end. Once you have made it to the end of row 6, you should leave off with the chain 4, and we are going to place a half double crochet into that second chain of that chain 5 that we made at the very beginning. And for row number 7, go ahead and chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. If your project starts to buckle, that is perfectly fine. Like I stated at the beginning, you are going to have to block this. It should start to flatten out, but if it doesn't, then you will definitely have to block your project. So now for row 7, after you have chained 4, we're going to skip this chain of 3 and these 3 double crochets, and we are going to go into that chain 5 space, and in that very first chain we are going to place 2 double crochets into that stitch. So 1 and 2. Go into the next stitch and place 1 double crochet. Go ahead and chain 3, 1, 2, and 3 into that second chain from the last 2. So it should be the 4th chain. So we're going to skip 1 and go into that 4th chain. Go ahead and place a double crochet into that stitch. And in that last chain, we are going to place 2 double crochets. Go ahead and chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In that chain 4 space, we are going to place a half double crochet into that space. Go ahead and chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go into the chain 5 space from the previous row. In that very first chain, go ahead and place 2 double crochets into that stitch. Go into the second chain and place 1 double crochet. chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, go into the 4th chain and place 1 double crochet, go into that very last chain and place 2 double crochets, chain 5 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, go into that chain 4 space and place a half double crochet into that stitch or into the chain 4 space, chain 5 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we're going to go ahead and continue repeating that unit. So again, go into that chain 5 space, and in that very first stitch, go ahead and place, or that very first chain, go ahead and place 2 double crochets. In that second chain, place 1 double crochet, chain 3, and in that 4th chain, go ahead and place 1 double crochet, and in that last chain, place 2 double crochet. So go ahead and continue repeating that unit, and I will meet you back around. So real quick, I noticed that I was making a mistake during the tutorial. So before we actually move on, I want to let you know exactly the mistake and how to correct that. So I'm going to try to cut that part out where I was making the mistake, which is right at the end of each row for rows 7, 8, and 9, or mainly 7 and 8. So you'll see, if I don't cut it out, you'll see that we were doing a chain of 3 and then a half double crochet into the beginning stitch that we made at that row, at the beginning of that row. I want you to abide that and see right here how it's kind of off. You're not going to place a half double crochet into these chains. You're just going to do your chain stitches, and then you would place a half double crochet in the starting. So this part right here, we are going to completely ignore in the tutorial if I don't cut it out, and you're going to pretty much, it should look like how row number 9 is. So I did right here the chain of 4 and then a half double crochet slipping into the beginning stitch that we made of row 9. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. If it doesn't, please feel free to ask down in the comment section, or you can even email me and I'll try to explain that a little bit better. But I do want to share with you guys real quick the original one that I did, how it's supposed to look. So see how it's in uniform to the rest of the pattern. That is what we're going to do. That's kind of a mistake as well. So we'll just continue doing the chains and then half double crochet into the beginning stitch. So that's how it's supposed to look like. I say half double crochet in that very first chain that we made at the beginning. So we should now be on row number 8. And we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. We are going to skip this chain 3 space here and these 3 double crochets, and we are going to go straight to that chain 3 space. And we are going to start off with, in the very first chain space, place 1 double crochet, chain 1, and place another double crochet into that same space, chain 1. We're going to go into the second chain space, place a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the same space, chain 1 again, and another double crochet into that same space. Then we are going to chain 1, go into that last chain, which is kind of hard to get into because it will kind of close up on you, but we are going to place a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet into that last stitch, or that last chain of the chain 3. Go ahead and we are going to chain 4, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go into the half double crochet. Let's actually chain 5 instead. Sorry, you guys. But go into that half double crochet from the previous row, and we are going to place a half double crochet into that stitch. Chain 5 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go into the next chain 3 space, and we are going to repeat that again. So in the very first chain space, we are going to place a double crochet, chain 1 double crochet, chain 1 again, and in the second chain, go ahead and place a double crochet, chain 1 double crochet, chain 1 double crochet. So in that second chain, you should have 3 double crochets. Go ahead and chain 1, and in that very last chain, we are going to place a double crochet, chain 1 double crochet. So go ahead and continue repeating that unit. I'll do it once more with you guys. So chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go into the half double crochet from the previous row and place a half double crochet into that stitch. Chain 5 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go into the chain 3 space. In that very first one, place a double crochet, chain 1 double crochet, chain 1, and in the second, go ahead and place a double crochet, chain 1 double crochet, chain 1 double crochet. Again, in that second chain, you should have 3 double crochets. Go ahead and chain 1 again, and in that very last chain, go ahead and place a double crochet, chain 1 double crochet. So go ahead and continue repeating that unit, and then I'll meet you for the end of row 8. And in that chain 1 space from the previous row of the chain 3, we are going to place a half double crochet into that stitch. So now you should have 5 of those archways. And now we can go ahead, and this is what your project should start to look like. We are going to start on row number 9. And we are going to start off with a chain of 3. So 1, 2, and 3. We're going to skip this chain 3 space and go straight to that double crochet and place a double crochet into that stitch. Go ahead and chain 1. Go into the chain 1 space and place a double crochet, chain 2, go into the next chain 1 space and place a double crochet, chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space, place a double crochet, chain 2, go into the next chain 1, place a double crochet, chain 1, go into the next chain 1, place a double crochet, chain 2, go into the next chain 1 space and place a double crochet, chain 1, and in that last double crochet we are going to place a double crochet. So how our archway should be is you should have 3 of the chain 2 spaces, and then in between those chain 3 spaces, you should have a chain 1 with double crochets. So now we are going to go ahead and chain, let me see, we're going to go ahead and chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go into that half double crochet and place a half double crochet. Chain 4. And then we are going to repeat that again. So in the first stitch, go ahead and place a double crochet. Chain 1, go into the next chain 1 space, place a double crochet, chain 2, in the next chain 1, place a double crochet, chain 1, in the next chain 1, place a double crochet, chain 2, in the next chain 1, place a double crochet, chain 1, in the next chain 1, place a double crochet, chain 2, in the last chain 1 space, place a double crochet, chain 1, and in that last double crochet, we are going to place a double crochet as well. So we are going to go ahead and continue working that repeat. So let me get my yarn figured out here. So after you have got that arch completed, you will chain 4, go into the half double crochet and place a half double crochet, chain 4 again, and then you will repeat the portion for the archway, and you'll just continue repeating the unit as well. So I'll meet you for once I have reached the end of row number 9. Once you have made it to the end of row 9, which you should leave off with a chain 4, and then we are going to place a half double crochet into that beginning stitch that we made at the very beginning. And now for our final row, we are going to start off with a chain of 4. We're going to skip this chain here and these 2 double crochets with the chain 1, and we are going to go straight to that chain 2 space, and in the very first chain space we are going to place 2 double crochets into that stitch, and then now we are going to do a chain 3 picot. So go ahead and chain 3. And then we are going to slip back into that very first chain that we made, and that is forming a picot. And then in the second chain, we are going to place 2 half double crochets into that stitch, or not 2 half double crochets, but 2 double crochets into that stitch as well. And then we are going to go into the next chain 2 space. And in that very first one, we are going to place 3 double crochets. We are going to do a chain 3 picot, which is chain 3 and then slip at the very beginning. And then in the next chain space, we are going to place 3 double crochets into that stitch. And then we are going to go to the next chain 2 space and place 2 double crochets into that first chain space. And then we are going to do a chain 3 picot. And then go into that last chain space and place 2 double crochets. Then we are going to chain 3. We're going to go into this half double crochet, and we are going to place a single crochet. Go ahead, chain 3 again. And we are going to repeat the repeat unit for the archway again. We are going to go into that first chain 2 space and place 2 double crochets into that space. chain 3, go into the second chain space and place 2 double crochets, go into the next chain 2 space, and that very first chain space, go ahead and place 3 double crochets, do a chain 3 picot, so chain 3 and then slip into the beginning, and then in the next stitch we are going to do 3 double crochets into that stitch, and then we are going to go into the very last chain 2 space and place 2 half double crochets into that first chain 2 space. We're going to do a chain 3 picot, and then in that last chain 2 space, or the last chain of the chain 2 space, we are going to place 2 double crochets, chain 3, go into the half double crochet and place a single crochet, chain 3 again, and then go ahead and repeat the arch repeat unit, and then I will meet you back around. So you'll leave off with a chain 3 and then slip stitch back to the start of that row. And you are definitely going to have to starch and block this project because it does buckle quite a bit. But once you've got it starched and blocked, it comes out perfectly fine and looks very, very nice. And again, how you can block your project, like I stated at the beginning, is you can boil some hot water, then take cornstarch and mix it in with some cold water, and then once you have your water boiling, then you can put your cornstarch mixture into that water, and then it should start to thicken up. You can either spray it down or you can dip it into that water. I prefer to spray it down, but that is how I prefer to do that. But obviously making sure you have your project, before you start spraying it down, blocked to how the project is supposed to spread out. But that is the end of this tutorial. If you did like this project, please don't forget to give this video a like, share, comment, or subscribe. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Enjoy your project, and I will see you guys next time.